It is really great privilege for me to be part of this very important conclave of ICPBN India Convention Promotion Bureau. Again, I welcome all of you, the very senior most dignitaries, academicians, industry experts. Myself is Dr. Chandrasekhar Barua, as Sri Dharmendra ji already introduced. I am happy to introduce today's important dignitaries. So I want to start with Sri Madan Kaksar. He is a very well-known personality. He owns his one company, that is Mina Travels India Private Limited, and leads two other group entities, namely Albon Conferences and Events and Viscover Journeys by the Minar Group. Madan's sir career is in the travel industry span over the 5 decades, during which he has successfully handled more than 50 incentives from the USA and the Europe. He is also a member of ICPB's governing body. Sri Madan sir holds a master's degree from the Kashmir University and choose a career in travel industry as is calling over a government job. His relationship with the industry partner is his biggest asset. So I welcome Sri Madan sir, Madan Kak sir, in this important conclave as a panel expert. Now,
thank you, Dr. Barua. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, my next important panel expert is Professor Sampath Swain, sir. And I'm very happy to introduce sir among all of us and those who are attending. Sir is a professor. He is a head in Department of Tourism Studies in University Pondicherry. And he has obtained all the degrees, that is your graduation, post-graduation, PhD and DLED from the Utkal University, Bhubaneswar. He was on the deputation with IGNTU, one of the very famous central university, Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh, as a professor between 2012 to 2018. And he published more than 3 dozen research papers, also 2 edited books and 1 reference book. Professor Swain sir has co-authored a book also titled Tourism Principles and Practices, which is very well-known, prominent book. His areas of research interest include the sustainable tourism, eco-tourism, responsible tourism, community-based tourism, destination image, and social tourism. So I welcome Professor Sampath Swain sir. Now the next I want to introduce Dr. Anupama Srivastava Madam ji. She is the head and the coordinator at the Institute of Tourism Studies, University of Lucknow. She is working there since 1996. She has co-authored a book titled Anthropology and Tourism, as well as edited a book titled Challenges and Strategies, Interventions for Tourism. She has attended many international conferences abroad, mainly in UK and Japan. She is currently serving as coordinator, Institute of Tourism Studies. She is as assistant proctor and assistant dean as a student welfare, University of Lucknow. She is also member of Board of Studies at Ram Manohar Lohia Awadh University, Faizabad, and Mahatma Jyotiba Phule Rohilkhand University in Bareilly. And she is an active writer and have written study materials for UP Board of Technical Education as well as Indira Gandhi National Open University. So I welcome Dr. Anupama Srivastava Madam ji. Now I would like to introduce Dr. Rajesh Ragre sir. He is a director in Department of Tourism Administration, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad in Maharashtra. And he is expert member of UGC, MPSC, Government of Maharashtra, CBSE, CIVE, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, and other prominent academic committees of more than 36 universities in India. Dr. Rajesh sir has taken a special initiative for conducting the scientific heritage research in India. Currently, he is investigating and analyzing the degradation of the natural and cultural heritage of Lonar Crater under the project sponsored by the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. Sir is a versatile personality. Dr. Rajesh is having a personal library of over 5,000 books, and he's a professional photographer also. So I welcome Dr. Rajesh Ragre sir in this conclave. Welcome, sir. I'm very happy to introduce a very young, talented faculty, Dr. Sneha. She is the HOD at Department of Travel and Tourism, and Mount Carmel College Autonomous in Bangalore. She is UGC NET qualified and she is PhD in tourism management from Madurai Kamraj University, Madurai, and she has been in the tourism industry while working with the well-known prestigious organization like MacMyTrip.com, Cox and Kings, etc. She is very experienced academic faculty and has been involved in multiple key active roles as IQAC member, coordinator for NPTEL courses, criterion mentor under the UGC Paramers scheme, tourism association coordinator, custodian of examination, placement coordinator, principal investigator of research projects, and organizer of various conferences and inter-college tourism fairs also. So I welcome Dr. Sneha Madam ji. And recently Madam joined Dr. Paramita. Smiling ma'am, you are welcome. And this conclave of ICPB, Dr. Paramita Shukla Bhatia is a madam. She is in as an associate professor at the School of Tourism and Hospitality Services Management, that is SOTHSM, IGNOU, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. She is alumni of Delhi University and Lucknow University. She is NET JRF qualified in the year 2000 and her PhD from Lucknow University in the year 2008. Prior to joining of IGNOU, she has worked as lecturer in Tagore Art College, Pondicherry, and as assistant professor in BHU, Varanasi, as well as IITTM Gwalior. Madam has published, she has presented a paper in national, international seminars and conferences and published around 16 research papers in national and international tourism journals and co-authored chapters in 3 edited books as well as CBSE books on tourism. And she is coordinator of CTS as well as DTS, the 2 programs which are run by the IGNOU. Her areas of interest include the crisis management in tourism, SIT, including the cruises, tourism marketing, and MICE event management. So I welcome Dr. Paramita in this prestigious conclave. Over to Sri Dharmendra ji.
I would like to share a very important and very happy information. Dr. Sneha just got married 2 days back and she is with us today for the cause of tourism students. She had to shift her home also and she is here with us, and so I would like to congratulate Dr. Sneha first of all from all of us at ICPB and all my panelists.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
So friends, let me introduce the topic now. Building human capacity building, imparting professional skills through training, certification programs, and its effectiveness. So as we all know that MICE is powered by entrepreneurs, and participation within the MICE industry can prove worthwhile for any business owner and their team. The MICE industry, which also incorporates travel and tourism, creates an innovative and price-effective solutions for business about creating, maintaining, and growing their customer base. MICE industry therefore has grown exponentially over the past few years, as we have been seeing it at the rate of at least 10% as far as India is concerned. Public and private sector players around the globe are realizing the contribution this industry can make to expand their income of the country. Last day, our tourism minister Prahlad Singh Patel also said when he was in ICPB conclave virtually that yes, we need to increase our capacity, we need to build up, and we have to show to the world that India can do something more. So economic and political players believe in the benefits that come from being recognized as a MICE destination of choice for business travelers and planners, and therefore lots of international tourism boards are opening their offices in India as well. And MICE is all about passion. I would like to also mention here that 52% of world travelers are the persons they travel in MICE. So we are starting this panel as a question answer format, and we believe that once we have all the questions done up by me and or Dr. Barua, we will be summing up all the points. So my first question goes to Dr. Anupma. What are the skills being taught to students on MICE by institutions?
Yeah, MICE has still not really gained much of academic interest in various universities and institutions. But yes, many universities definitely are planning to introduce a program on MICE. We planned this program in the year 2007. And the Ministry of Tourism was kind enough to grant us, a substantial sum to start the program. So when we were designing the program initially, we definitely did not have a very good idea about what the industry really expects. But in the last, a decade or so since this course was introduced by us, we have made certain changes. So initially, what we are trying to do is that in the first, we have this course in the master's program. Generally, most of the universities either provide a diploma, a PG diploma, or a master's. So in the master's, because it is a 2-year program, we essentially the first 2 semesters are more, based on the core concepts in which we are going to give them the managerial background. These students are going to get a managerial background, lots of information about what event is all about, what marketing of event should be, the costing and accounting, all the basic issues like human resource, then the logistics management, brand management, research also, because I think research is very integral when planning an event. So this is what we have tried to launch in the first year, and eventually in the second year, that is the 3rd and the 4th semester, it is going to be more analytical and application based. So there's a lot of media management, event planning. Then we have also given inputs about the tourism industry and the tie-ups, the hotel accommodations and tie-ups, the logistics, cargo management and tie-ups, background of the cultural heritage of India, because we're going to promote India as a cultural, as an event destination. Internships are there, internship program where we'll be looking out for industry participation, for giving hands-on skill in the event industry directly to the students from the industry. Entrepreneurship development is also very, very integral, I think, in the event industry. Lots of entrepreneurs would like to start their business in this field. So entrepreneurship and, of course, a lot of input about communication, personality enhancement, the different and the specializations. So we have offered student specializations in the social event management sector and the corporate event management sector, which I believe are the 2 main classifications of events. So this is the general background of the master's program. In the PG diploma and the diploma program, of course, it is going to be more application based. So the frontline jobs can be filled up in the field of events. So customer relationships, dealing with clients, making little issues, feedback collection. So all this is going to be the focus in the PG programs. So this is what it has been.
Thank you. Professor Sampath, you would like to add something, sir? I think he's not here. Dr. Rajesh, you would like to add something to it?
I'd like to add.
Oh, sir, please.
Sorry. So thank you, Madam Srivastava, for initiating it. So let us be very truthful in our comments and in our feedback. And we have been training the human resources who are by and large prepared to work in the industry, mostly the tourism industry. And MICE is an important component of tourism industry. And MICE, given the share of the business tourist, more than 50% or half of the total tourist arrival, they travel for the purpose of tourism and they travel for the business tourism. So therefore, I must say, academic institutions, regardless of the scope and the budget, facilities and amenities, educational institutions should be prepared to develop industry-oriented, student-oriented, field-based, activity-based oriented curriculum. I fully agree with Madam Srivastava that event management in general, MICE in particular, has not given due weightage or due importance, due place in the course curriculum. And the time has come because India Convention and Promotion Bureau, which is one of the oldest organization, it is one of the single largest platform in India which is promoting the convention, conference, and seminars, symposia, workshop, etc. So now I must say we all fail to attract the MICE recruiters or MICE companies to visit the campuses. So mostly we prepare the student to work in the outbound or inbound companies. Subsequently, they move to the MICE sector and do the career. Many of them, they act as the entrepreneur also. So to add certain points that MICE is an important component of the course curriculum, I may say in Pondicherry University, we ran postgraduate diploma in event management sponsored by UGC for about 6 to 7 years as an evening program. There was a good response. I was the coordinator of the program, and we introduced the program. Most importantly, the one of the papers which I introduced called disaster management or crisis management. No, that was one of the papers that many of the students they started showing their much interest, and we made it a hardcore paper or generic paper. So therefore, what I wish to bring to the knowledge of the uh, resource person here, and so also to the respond to the points of the question is, MICE must be an integral part of the syllabus. There can be 1 or 2 papers, even there can be a super specialization, or there can be a major specialization in the syllabus. Thank you.
Dr. Rajesh, would you like to add something to it, sir?
Yeah, I agree with Professor Sampath, Madam. So, MICE should be a compulsory paper because, as you have already mentioned, Mr. Dharmendra, you have already mentioned about the scope of MICE tourism in India, like 52% of the travelers are there. So, we should have MICE as an integral part. And already most of the university departments who run the master's program, they have included it as a paper or a module. And if you remember, Professor Sampath, when we revised the NET syllabus, the NET MTTM syllabus in 2018, we have also included MICE in the NET course curriculum. So now things are going in the right direction.
That's great. That's great. That's great. I have a question to Dr. Paramita now. Dr. Paramita, are you here? How are the
Yes, good afternoon,
certifications?
Dharmendra.
Good
I'm
afternoon,
here.
ma'am. Good to see you.
Thank you. I got a bit delayed. Use the long link.
So we are going to charge you a penalty of ₹5 per minute.
Yes, please do that. It will make me sure to check the right link the next time I'm here.
Correct. So I have a question to you. As you are from the largest community of students of online that IGNOU is providing to more than 2,000 students, I believe, or more than 2,500. So
Yes.
you are leading IGNOU in that sense, and I have a question to you. How are certifications are being done to students on by institutions,
Okay,
especially?
Dharmendra. Uh, see, when we talk about IGNOU, it's a little different from rest of the universities. As you are aware, we are open distance learning education institution. And you are right, the number of students that we have is a huge number. And it is not always possible to cater to all their needs at all point of time because they are scattered all over the country. And we have a large number of students who are interested in pursuing MICE. The reason is we have a MICE paper in the master's program, as many of you are aware that master's program usually has a specialization in that. But when we think of certification that is happening across the country, you will realize that there are many types of certification. There are some institutions, mainly in the private area, who are actually giving 3-year degree programs to the students. Then we have institutions which are giving certificates. We have universities which are giving diploma. Like right now, ma'am has, Anupma ma'am has said, and Sampath Swai sir has said, that they have PG diploma as well as actually a complete master's program in event management. So when we look at the certifications, you will realize that there is no standardization in the certifications. There are many uh, levels of certifications on MICE management that is happening across the country. And it is not just about IGNOU here. In IGNOU, we do not offer any MICE management program as of now. We just have one subject in the master's program. That's about it. But if you check the other places, they have different programs and certification. And unlike the programs of masters in tourism and in the bachelor's program of tourism, in which case UGC has come up with a common title of what should be the program, degree program state, what should be the subjects to be taught. We do not have such kind of standardization in event management as of now, because I have come across certification which says MICE management, but it is just a certification. And also most of the institutions are offering event management. So the certifications vary from institutions to institution, as well as from universities to university. And the specializations also vary. So I cannot say that there is a standardization in the certification, but yes, certification is available at many levels, right from certificate, diploma, degree, and post-graduation, as well as specialization.
Thank you. Dr. Sneha, would you like to add something to it?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. So to add on to what Ms. Paramita said, I think certifications is very crucial, and this is possible in order to improve the quality of the students who are entering the workforce. I think we have to have some kind of frameworks for curriculum enhancement. So this is possible by doing steps, something like which we have done. I have always strived hard to bridge the industry gap between what is being taught and what is being done outside in the industry. So what I do is in our board of studies, we have an industry expert also sitting as a part of the member and trying to take forward anything what is there in the present industry. So basically updating any points which has to be added. So in terms of MICE, of course, we have a specialization paper for event management. But as a separate subject, yes, we have not yet started that because we are handling the undergraduate degree program. And we also have a separate exclusive tourism program for BWalk Hospitality and Tourism, which is almost in line with the NEP, wherein you have the entry exit options and students can join at the entry level or take just a diploma or an advanced diploma and finally finish the entire degree. So we do have a lot of MOUs also which we have taken up, which of course we can discuss a little later during the session. But yes, it is very important because we give a lot of exposure to our students by organizing a lot of events, seminars, conferences, and we also have an implant travel desk very much within the college, which gives a direct hands-on experience to our students to take care of our tours. So for all our educational tours, what we do, which is an institutional tour, so for all the 150, 200 students that we do every year, we have our implant travel desk, which is again, in coordination with the student trip committee. They get a direct exposure in planning everything. So at the college level itself, these are our baby steps to help in getting their exposure related to MICE, and at the same time developing skills related to this with the help of MOU tie-ups with various organizations that we have. And we try to, enhance our curriculum that way. And definitely that is the way forward, and only then such measures within the human capital development and capacity building is what will create a participatory approach. Thank you.
Fantastic. Dr. Sampath, you would like to add something, sir?
Yes, actually, thanks for all the members for having put forth their thoughts and ideas. With regard to my response to them, because if you look at the national education policy, there is ample scope for embracing or including MICE and event management, because this will be a 4+1 year program. So, because first year will be a certification program, diploma program, advanced diploma program, then degree program, then postgraduate research program. So that is a scope one. But one thing I wanted to bring to the knowledge of Mr. Dharmendra as he represents the ICPB, that if ICPB will extend helping hands to the institution for certifying the courses, probably if you offer two courses or one specialization or one diploma or something like that, the ICPB certifies. This is a certified program of the ICPB, and ICPB take lead role in integrating all the academic institutions offering tourism program. Perhaps because this is a demand and supply driven. Because institution would supply as long as demand is there. So demand can only be generated if there is a link between demand and supply. So therefore, ICPB can play a critical role or as a medium or a platform through which the demand and supply of the human resources can be managed or can be met. So therefore, because what I wish to bring to the knowledge of the learned panel members here is that from my own experiences this year February, Government of Puducherry in association with the MICE Association of Puducherry invited 75 MICE operators from all over the world. Majority of them are from North Bangalore and big cities. Mostly MICE can happen only in the big cities. And you will be surprised to know the entire arrangement was given to Pondicherry University Department of Tourism Studies. And all our teachers, all our students, 150 students, 6-7 teachers, 20 scholars. So all were interested in the task of preparing their itinerary, arrival, departure, venue, everything, even including the comparing, guest relation, everything. So this, because many students could get the opportunity to know what is MICE, seeing is believing. Once they started seeing it, they started gaining confidence. When they see this is the constituent of the MICE in the tourism. Is it the volume of the business? Is it the magnitude of the tourism business as far as MICE is concerned? So many of the students, instead of we try to condition them that, you know, we are preparing to work in outbound or inbound, selling packages, designing packages, but many of them started showing the interest to work in the MICE. And you will be surprised to know 20 to 25 companies in the last day dinner party, when our students put forth their cultural program, because that was an opportunity for the department to exhibit the extracurricular activities of the students in the form of cultural programs. Because so many of the 20-25 MICE companies in India, majority are from Delhi, then they instantly asked me as head of the department and other colleague, can you share your placement brochure? And you know, we are very smart. We were ready with your placement brochure. And we wrote their names because we advance collected their visiting cards or business cards. We wrote this and we are ready with the 75 or 80 envelopes that includes the placement brochure, department brochure, syllabus copy and everything. We handed over it. So, and out of 25, 5 of them conducted interview online. Unfortunately, the pandemic approached and the students could not join. But I'm sure once the things would be normal. This is the way institution to be proactive. Because what we need is that because many public institutions have limitations. Because except Madam Sneha, all 4 of us or 5 of us, including Professor Barua, we belong to public institutions. So we have limitations in organizing the things, and it is a long protocol to get the approval. There are many standard operating procedures to be followed. You cannot violate. So within the parameters, within the Lakshman Rekha, we are operating, but we are excelling. So thanks to the national education policy, some freedom will come to the institutions. We are hopeful of excelling it. But we want the ICPB to come forward to certify, or other institutions, other associations pertaining to MICE. They may also come forward to help the institutions. Let us let the discussion not be restricted within this panel discussion or within the 2-day or 3-day conference. Let it get extended to the action, because how action can be taken, so institution can be integrated with ICPB. We are with open arms to welcome the ICPB to certify. If there are any procedures to pay money, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, we are ready to pay. Because if ICPB certifies, because certification, and because many of us are talking about certification, probably Madam Paramita elaborated the gravity of the certification. The gravity of the certification is ICPB has to play decisive, defining and critical role in extending invitation to all the institutions to sign MOU or to sign contract or to apply application to get certification. If the program is certified, certainly ICPB requirements and invite the ICPB or MICE experts to train the students in the institutions. Then only the students will be prepared with hands-on experience, with employability skills, and they will be skillful. They will not be skillful, they will be competent. So they will be not nervous. There are a couple of questions which I may answer in the course of the discussions. So a student will leave the campus with confidence. So industry will not require to invest on them to train them. Because many many recruiters, they complain largely that we invest on training them. We invest on sending them to the field. We invest on improving their communication skill, decision making ability, problem solving skill. Most 90% of the skill can be acquired by the students if there is an integration, collaboration, partnership between ICPB approved MICE operators and academic institutions. So therefore, the ICPB objective can be fulfilled. Academic institutions shall be able to contribute to the MICE industry continuously and sustainably. Then MICE can sign well, brilliantly, and MICE can MICE can recruit the students more than outbound inbound. That is the point I wanted to put forth, just to warm up all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Sampath. You have already answered my next question, which I was going to put up to you. That yes, you are correctly here that the disconnect between industry and academia is big, very big, widely recognized. And sometimes we have a question: how long we do it? How long do we allow it? How long the tourism and MICE industry would be investing in skills updating of new recruits? I also came 20 years back into the industry, and I have to spend around 1 year or 2 years to be able to do my team's work, because obviously I didn't had that type of skill set then. And yes, both of us, industry and academics, would have to collaborate it on very, very fast level. And we have a discussion already started in ICPB on your point that we are already taking it up, and this is just not in this panel. We are going to do it very fast, that we will be first rolling up the memberships to all the institutions, educational institutions, so that all the universities can have a good pool of MICE players, because ICPB is not a tour operators association. It is not ITO. I have due regards to them. It is not AD2I. It is a good pool of everybody. We have tour operators, we have exhibition venues, we have event planners, we have incentive players, we have meetings players. So we have good pool, and apart from that pool, we also have a lot of representation companies. So it's a big pool, and if we can fill up this gap even from this pool, that will be great. Because suppose if your student from Pondicherry, Professor Sampath, is wishing to have a on-the-job experience, and there is some conference happening in, say, Srinagar, so you can always approach ICPB, or ICPB can send information that these conferences from our members are being happening in these parts of country. And suppose if a boy from or a girl from Pondicherry comes to Srinagar to have a hands-on experience, or a person from Lucknow goes to Bangalore to attend a conference, or Gandhinagar, that will do great tricks, and they will understand very fast that what they are going to have once they enter in the jobs sphere. So I would like to cut short myself here, and I will be answering to Mr. Barua on next questions. But before that, I have a question to Dr. C.S. Barua. With India opening in the field of MICE in a big way, what opportunities can be foreseen by institutions in creation of trained workforce? Professor Barua.
Thank you, Sri Dharmendra ji. It is a very interesting question that how institutions can create the trend, the workforce. As you all know that in India, tourism is growing very fast. So we are one of the developing country. And here the new generation is looking the courses which are very professional for jobs, especially. Because I'm representing here the IITTM, because we have graduation program, post-graduation program. We do also have one module in graduation as well in post-graduation also subject, either like you can say MICE or event management, because this is a part of the tourism education. Now in India, we can say only the part of like you was mentioning about inbound, outbound, domestic, etc. So now I can see in my own experience, the new two segments are growing very fast. The one is the MICE business, another is a wedding tourism. If you talk about the MICE, because there are a lot of companies, they jump into this business, that is all over the country, India. They have many organizations. They are handling not only domestic MICE business, international also. So, there are a number of opportunities for the young youth, because the people, those who are coming for activity in any part of the MICE, for example, Goa is one destination where the maximum number of charter planes are landing. And that is the number one destination in our India, where the maximum night can be 4 and 5 nights. So please, one can understand the job opportunities. So we identifying that MICE is one of the freelance segment. That's why the one subject is introduced. Like in India, we have more than 140 institutions, and they are producing the new fresh manpower for travel, tourism, hospitality industry. So when you are talking about the MICE, once again, people are coming 1 or 2 days early before the convention or conclave, or maybe after 1 or 2 days. So we have to develop in such a way the young youths, so they can identify the new destination, how they can engage, the new itineraries before the convention, after the convention, as well as there is a possibility that these students can be physically trained also. For example, if they are in their course curriculum, it is not there, for example, in a short-term program for any internship or some kind of summer internship or on-the-job training, it may be possible they can be shown any university auditorium or their respective college or institutions auditorium, where they can understand what normal basic equipments are required, what are the basic infrastructure required. So if you are giving a small basic information, gradually interest can be developed. Number two, through the tourism industry, especially in the field of the MICE, there is a lot of, once again, the employment can be generated. In the recent study of mine, I was reading that there are n number of last year the company, recently we have COVID-19, everyone knows that, but in the year of 2019, there was a big number of arrivals was only in the field of MICE. Because if you talk like in Delhi, the Pragati Maidan recently already upgraded, in Mumbai also, the place called Lavasa, where the people are reaching, especially for the MICE, especially for the wedding. So one has to identify the destination which appeals for some sightseeing, some tours also, because people are engaged from morning till evening with the meetings, or whatever you say, the conventions part, or maybe exhibitions, or part of many other activities which are required for maybe launching of new product. But even again, they required, some entertainment. That is tourism activity. So once again, it may be like we talk in tourism, the destination can be natural attraction, can be man-made attraction, part of can be cultural. So one has to identify these, and once again, the students can be trained for that. People are now identifying, and what I'm watching is that many students are showing very high interest, because in MICE, students are also getting in during the summer period good stipend. Number two, if we compare with any other sector job in tourism, if they are going and joining in MICE, their salary structure is also very high. So everyone expects a good salary structure, good timely promotions also, that gives their satisfaction also, because we trying to train them to work all 7 days. There's no holiday. Other side, these people are considered, they are always on as a customer. Maybe the member of the MICE business, or other side, the travel agent, because you can engage at a time many people. So maybe the interest of student can be versatile. They may become like part of tour guide, or maybe like recent one, tourist facilitator. They may be the transporters. They may be some, arranging some entertainments also. So overall, once again, as India is a one destination which is becoming now very big for MICE, particular sector of tourism, and definitely one day the time will come that India will be #1 in whole Asia, because now we are ranked in the world also, and tourism point of view, I hope 24th, 25th position we have. Every year tourist arrival is increasing. MICE is one of the field. So thank you very much, Sri Dharmendra ji. Over to you, sir.
Dr. Rajesh, would you like to add something to it, sir? You are muted, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
So I think Professor Barua has shared his thoughts correctly, and we are still back. In my question, I'll be addressing to that aspect. So I think till now everything is fine. Professor Barua, through his experience, he has shared about the MICE tourism and the upcoming medical this wedding tourism. So we have ample scope. So I will be also speaking on some part of that. So after this, I'll speak.
Okay.
You
Dr.
can ask
Sneha,
in
you
a
would like to add something? Dr. Sneha, you would like to add something?
Yes. Yes. So as we all know that education and training would provide the human capital needed for the sector to grow. MICE is actually one of the most sought after departments that our students are looking out for. And every time they choose internships or placements, they actually prefer MICE because the everyday challenges that you have in taking care of a group is something very different. So they don't like a monotonous job. And every day is different when you work in the MICE department. So they do prefer this, and we do cater to this by closely collaborating with our placement cell and all the industry contacts and networks, and ensuring that all the students that has the potential to work in the MICE department, we do given the opportunities, and many students have really shined well in this particular department. And also, as Sampath sir already highlighted, institution, I had quite a bit of leverage to kind of develop skill enhancement courses in tune for what is needed by a fresher to enter in the market. So what I did was I started something called as a skill enhancement course called as Destination Specialist, which gives them the destination knowledge that is needed at least for the neighboring countries. So for a fresher, nobody would handle or give them opportunities to take up big countries. So to begin with, at least in an interview level for them to crack and do well and enter the industry, I started this course, and we were able to tie up with an MOU with a leading tour operator in India, and they are in fact coming to a college and training the students once in a week, and then training them on various important countries and also some important states and cities in India. And they also are certified by the tour operator. Of course, I have gone in for private certifications like this. And apart from the training, they get certified that way. And I also ensured that they took up the destination specialist certification programs offered by the various international or national tourist boards on countries like South Africa, etc. So they had a lot of other self certifications which they have done through the tourism boards, and of course by the MOU signed tour operator. So in this way, I was able to take a humble step regarding this. And of course, through internships, placements, and such certification programs, I think we can try to bridge the gap, as I think that's an attempt we all must do, either through governmental level or through the private level, to ensure that the whole system of human interaction by elevating the quality of tourism related services results in the enhanced benefits and profits for all the industry stakeholders. Thank you.
Dr. Anupma, you would like to add something?
Thank you, Dharmen. The fact that you started as a tourism professional and you've diversified into the very happening MICE industry is, justifies the fact that we need to really work on this sector more and more. And, when all of us are discussing various issues of the demand and supply, as Sampath sir said, that the institutions have to give the supply. Now, one thing that comes into my mind here is, except barring cities like, metro cities like Bangalore and Delhi and, cities where there is ample opportunity for students, I think still, even after 25 years of my institution giving or imparting knowledge on tourism, there is still hesitation in the part of students as joining these programs and, making a career out of it. So I think we can reform a few things here, because MICE is, as all of the panelists agree, is still new to the academics, the world. So I think here, Dharmenji, I think the fact that you provided the internship online training so well to students pan-India is the assertion that we can reach out to more and more students who fit the industry. So we have to reach out and create an awareness. Like just talking about academics and internship and agreements is not enough. We have to create an awareness amongst the youth that there's a huge opportunity, whether it is the tourism industry or whether it is the MICE industry. And I think we really need to work on this. How can this be achieved? The purpose somewhere, especially in cities like Lucknow, where the exposure level probably is less. And for this, Mr. Madan, I must tell you that we were honored to have Concord Travels, who took our students to organize the, as participants in the Defense Expo. So that gave a tremendous opportunity for these students to take part firsthand. And it has definitely developed a keen interest among students to join the MICE industry. They're all wanting to join the MICE industry in various levels. So I think we as panelists here, when the industry is here and when the academicians are here, we should also think about creating this awareness that, we get the right kind of human resource, the right kind of people with the right kind of framework to join the industry, as well as to join the academics part first. So to get the training, there must be an awareness that these programs are there, that there is a huge opportunity. And I think something that ICTD can do is create this kind of, with the help of all our institutions, like we can do something like this in creating awareness pan-India. So the purpose of the, I think our government, which is infusing a lot of, the NEP, which is giving exit and entry programs, and also the fact that we are going to be Atmanirbhar now. I think MICE is one area in which a lot of things can be done in the sector of being Atmanirbhar or being self-sufficient and creating our own kind of jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities. But I think we need to reach out to the right kind of students. So that is my submission before my panelists, and over to you, Dharmenji.
Thank you. Professor Basu Barua, I would like you to take over now for if you would like to ask some questions to me and Madan sir.
Thank you, sir. May I request Madan sir to please come live? My now question to you, sir. Madan sir, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. We wanted to see you live, sir. Sir, my question to you is, what areas of tourism as DMC you feel that capacity building measures will grow Indian tourism?
Okay. Thank you. Let me, first and foremost, allow just a minute.
Thank you, sir.
No. First and foremost, Dr. Bova, I believe that we need skill enhancement. We need the foremost measure is the training and skill enhancement at the basic level. We are doing well in the hospitality industry, but it is so big that we need some more skill development, like at the level of some certification courses, part-time courses for people like drivers who are in contact with the tourists for a long time, the waiters at the restaurants and things like that. That is most important. Then the capacity of our language speaking guides. We have very good English speaking guides and in many other languages, but the capacity for our language speaking guides needs improvement. I'll give an instance. Whenever our relations with China grow, China is the biggest, will be giving us lots of tourism once the COVID is over and the country to country relations. But we are not equipped to handle that kind of business because of language. It rains during their New Year, Chinese New Year. It rains only tourists in Maldives and Nepal. But unfortunately, we are yet to, these are some of the handicaps. Then the most important is, it's such a big, diverse country, India. How long we are going to bask in the, this, in Taj Mahal, how in the glory of Taj Mahal. There are lots of people who are repeat visitors. They want something beyond Taj Mahal. I mean, we have seen that, but India is the product development is not happening properly. So we should identify, the trade should identify some more areas where we could, we could divert the tourists coming to India. When we compare the number of tourists, coming to India with countries like China, Singapore, Thailand, the pricing is a big constraint. The request for the government is, to have a relook at the taxation policy, because they feel of not only of the Indian travel trade, but also of the tour operators who promote India, that India is an expensive country. You mentioned about the charters, yeah, that's a big segment of tourism we do in Goa. But we have not been able to identify, like I'll say that Russians, they love beaches. They love, most of the charter people coming to Goa or from Russia, they love the beaches, but we have not been able to divert any. We have to create demand. We have not been able to divert these charter flights to other places like Odisha or to Kerala. So we should think in terms of that. And also when we think of mass tourism like charter tourism, many countries in Far East and Asia, like Ras Al Khaimah, they attract lots and lots of tourists. But the pricing again is a big problem when you compare it with India. They give incentives, like to a charter operator, overseas charter operator. If somebody is bringing a charter to Ras Al Khaimah, they give them a cash incentive of say $10 per person, $15 per person, but it's not happening here. They give them our, these airport charges for the charter flights. They are too expensive. So we should have a look at that also. That's my submission, yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. My another question is also related to the same, that how does the industry procure the staff of MICE? So it is again to Sri Madan, sir.
Well, normally, I mean, these are, we have not gone beyond the conventional methods, It's sort of not many companies, what I would personally have liked, to go for campus. There are so many universities, but the trade mostly is shying away from going to campus, various campuses for, campus interviews. Presently, the procurement is done by persons, with tourism degree, I mean, who are just smart enough, have pleasing personality and all that. But we could go beyond that, At the senior level, the procurement for MICE, I'm talking, there's not much availability. It's only, I'm sorry to say, with apologies to all of us in the trade, that it is mostly poaching, giving better emoluments, giving better facilities, that we are able to get staff at the senior levels. There's a dearth of qualified staff for MICE, and my suggestion to the trade is that there's enough of young men available for doing these tourism courses where MICE is a part of it. We should encourage the campus placements. Go to campuses and pick up from them. That's it.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to request Dharmendra ji. So please, question to you now. Specify the skills that a student can work upon to enhance the possibilities of making a career and specialize in MICE. Sir.
Thank you, Professor Barua. And my best regards to Madan sir. His experience into the trade is more than my age. So big regards to you, sir. Skill enhancement is yes, that we look forward that the freshers who are coming to us, they are well equipped with some skills. plus some personality development they should have. Like we always try to ask them questions which shows them either they are self ignited, I mean self motivated, do they have a strong work ethics, do they have a dedication to work, how are their written and verbal communication skills. So sometimes we give them a topic when they once they come to us for an interview. Sometimes we give them a topic, okay, write 5 lines on Taj Mahal, very simple and basic, just to understand how is their how are their written communication skills and how they pronounce the things. Then basic financial management skills, they should be well networked, they should know how to do networking. This is the area where a lot of students lack. They should be creative in approach, time management. They should have aptitude to study different venues. This is very very important, because once a student is coming to us after doing MTM and one of the subject was MICE management out of the 4 semesters, we expect them that they are aware of different venues and capacities. That, for example, there is a venue of say 5,000 square feet, and it's a perfect venue as far as bookish knowledge is concerned, but I may fail it. I may say that the hall height is just 10 feet. Boss, where will be the 2 feet height stage, or where will be 8 feet height LED? So there is no space, reject this, so there are things which they need to understand. They should have very very advanced data analytical and quantitative skills. Like they should be, at least they should be efficient in advanced Microsoft Office all versions, like making PPTs. They should know what are the ratios we look at when you are giving us a PPT. It should be 16:9. They might be aware of it, they might not be aware of it. So there are a lot of things. I mean, data analytical in this digital world is very very important. What happens that sometimes my clients send me a data and ask us to, okay, to you have to call all these 250 partners or distributors and get us a report within 3 days with a dashboard. Now students who are coming to us, we are telling them, okay, make data like this, but they are not aware of how to make dashboard. So these are the skills that these are very much required to enter into MICE area, and then we train them. So they should be kind of, we want to see them proactive. We also want to test them, test their patience, that how patients are they having. They should be able to do multitasking. Sometimes what I feel that, please don't mind, but what I understand and feel that the new generation coming up is not having any patience, because they want to be a manager in 6 months. That is not possible. 6 months we understand them to understand everything and then come to us. I mean, 6 months, generally we tell them you are on probation. If we feel that you will be fit to us, you are there. Otherwise we will be giving you any one of the department which we feel that you will be there doing your job. So all of these basic skill enhancement, as Dr. Sneha also doing at her level, they should be proficient in these all skills. Whereas they are master, when they are coming to us, we can see their CVs, we can ask them questions, and once we feel satisfied, we give them a go in. Okay, please come join us. That's how I take it, Professor Barua.
Thank
Balaji,
you,
may
Sri
I add,
Dharmendraji. Now, again, we want to go in the part 2. So I would like to request to Dharmendraji, so please start the next question sessions to our expert faculties, sir.
Okay,
Over to you.
thank you. I have an interesting question. And the question is, can institutions increase internships from 2 months to 6 months in their master's program? Because what I feel that whenever a student is coming to us for a 2 months internship or 8 weeks internship, see what happens generally to us. Let me give the secret. The student comes to us after 7 days. Sir, this is the letter I am having, and I have been given instruction that I have to report to you, and this is that, and this is that. And sir, can I join after 7 days? What happened? I have some urgent works and I have to go back to my home to finish the work, and please allow me 7 days. Generally, what happens? He or she appears to us after 10 days. And then, then we tell them, okay, you please sit with this person or this person and try to understand what they are doing, and report me back in after 3 days. But generally what we see, there have been some brilliant students no doubt, there have been some brilliant students who have come to us, gained knowledge, and then joined the industry, and they are doing fantabulous job, and I'm very proud of them. But majority of them are not serious. So this is my question to all the academia available here. Can we increase internship from 2 months to 6 months? This question goes to Dr. Sampath
Dharmendra ji,
first. Yeah.
yes, yes. Actually, uh, uh, I want to respond to this question and earlier question to you. You mentioned
Sir.
about the data analytics.
Sir.
And all of us are offering a MBA program with specialization in tourism and travel management. And primarily, if you compare the syllabus between general MBA and MBA tourism, you can find all tourism paper except the papers, no accounting, some basics. So we have introduced foreign exchange management, business analytics. And we are matching class with commerce teacher and a statistics teacher from other departments under the facility of CBCS. What is the response rate of the students? What is the attendance of the student? Is abysmally poor. So 20% of students are attending in the business analytics class, and 30%, 45% students don't understand the foreign exchange rules and regulations, and they are all graduates, and they are qualifying the national level entrance test. They are from best of the best colleges, UG, PG, sorry, UG, +2 and schools. They speak functional, not functional English, no. They write well, but they don't have patience to concentrate. That I fully agree with you. That is one point. And I also appeal to other teachers from the different institutions to introduce the business statistics. Because a manager or an MBA is expected to take decisions from the data. So if an MBA graduate is not familiar with the data management, data analytics, big data, cloud computing, probably these are the I must not say the skill, these are the competencies. All right, that is one thing. Secondly, to respond to your second comments, it is not 6 months. No, now national education policy is more generous. Even you can keep the student for 1 year. So in the 4th year, so students can be permitted to go to the industry for 1 year. That the team of the national education policy found the need for the professional student to spend more time in the industry for hands-on experience. That 45 days or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or even 6 months, I must say it is extremely inadequate for a student. And let the student work hard. Let them be humiliated. Let them face all kinds of hardship. Let them be discouraged. And those who will survive out of the discouragement, out of the frustration, out of the harassment, out of the humiliation, those students can only excel. I may say the classroom is not the right platform to test the interest and passion of the students. It is the industry. Within a year or 6 months or 7 months, the talent of the student, interest of the student can be gauged, can be measured. So I fully agree with Mahendraji. I may say it is not 6 months. If new education policy, national education policy is going to introduce from next year, all central universities are introducing, and we are happy to send the student to you for 1 year. It's not 6 months. Please wait for 2 years. Thank you.
Mute.
Sorry, Mr. Madan would like to add something to it.
Yes, I would. Dharmender, what you said is exactly very correct. The industrial training or internship, to increase it from 2 to 6 months, we'll discuss that. But my main point is the quality of the training which is provided to an internee needs to be improved. I mean, like you said that it's not happening, in the right direction. 2 months, they come, they spend 10 days out of that, traveling up and down and things like that. So it is better that the quality of the training is increased, and at the same time, the duration of the training is increased. But increasing duration of the training has, what I feel is that it has a financial implication. The students like coming from Lucknow, there are not many these opportunities of internship in Lucknow. So they come to better places, better towns, say like they come to Delhi or Agra. I have seen some of them coming from Puducherry, some of them coming from Chennai and all that. It's a burden. It's a burden on this unless, there's a stipend given, a small stipend that will help them to stay back at the place of their internship, which is important. This is not happening because then, they come in the hope that they will get a letter that this internship has been completed after 2 months or 3 months. They rush back to their hometown because it's all a matter of finances, because they can't afford to be in Delhi. That's how I feel, And the trade also has an obligation. The travel trade has also an obligation to provide quality internship to these internees. That's my take on this.
Mr. Madan, I have a question from our own member Rajni Nayar. What is the one skill that we as an industry expect from the students' fraternity?
Sorry, say it again.
What is the one skill that we as industry expect from the students today?
Okay, yes. Vis-a-vis MICE, I would like to say that besides, a basic degree from a good institute, that's a prerequisite, where the specialization, because not many institutes or universities, they provide, a separate exclusive course dedicated to MICE. It's a certification, maybe one paper is for MICE and all that. So basic is a graduation, course. Then the most important thing is very strong these communication skills, so that they are enabled to communicate with their external clients and internal clients. They should have very good financial, these contracting skills, negotiating skills, which are, which are helpful for the employer and the client, which are, helpful for the internal client and the external client. That is very important. That's very important. And most importantly, because MICE or events, they don't happen at one particular place. They are not all events are happening in India. There are some companies, who want MICE to go to some other countries. So they should have a global, I'm talking a senior level, a global outlook where they can communicate, with global leaders, in the industry. And, that's what I would think, to be a prerequisite, yeah.
Thank you, Madanji. I have a next question to Dr. Rajesh. Is he here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the hindrances, sir, students face at the time of internship joining? And what do you expect from industry to address this situation?
Okay. This is a very important question which you have asked, since already Madan sir and Professor Sampath sir has also talked on that, some aspect. But friends, I would like to tell you on this platform, everything depends on the quality. We have millions of the graduates who are sitting idle with a degree and they have no jobs. It is just because we don't have that quality. And when it comes to internship, first I will add 2 points. Like Professor Sampath mentioned about the National Education Policy, NEP, and we will have a liberty for extending the internship. Now, friends, I think that we have to follow some of the models of the West, especially the European and the Australian models in tourism. Like in in UK, we have a 2 years program in tourism management. MSc is offered there. 1 year is the classroom teaching, 1 year is the theory part. 6 months, like 25% of the period of 2 years, it is the dissertation, and 25%, that is 6 months, it is for internship. Now these students get the best placement in the world. Now when we come back to India, like Madan sir has mentioned, there is a dearth of the MICE professionals, and they have to hire the professionals from here and there, right? So here I would like to mention that the students, they have various problems. Like in India, we are the first 5 centers, like Pondicherry, Aurangabad, Gwalior. We were the first centers 25, 26 years ago. So that time internship was an integral part of MTA program. So since that time, we have seen that internship till date, it is not well understood by the industry. Now I am talking about the local industry, travel industry in the particular location, or the small and big towns. Only the corporate sector understands what is the internship. In India, we have the unpaid internship. So internship is never paid. At some locations, they pay. And when they don't pay, the students are not serious, and the faculty is also not serious. Now I'm talking about two tiers of the tourism education. The first is the tourism education at the postgraduate level, and the second is at the undergraduate level. So in the undergraduate level, we find there are several colleges which offer the BWork programs. Earlier also we had one BWork program in the decade of 90s. So these programs, they are run in the colleges, and the PGs are run in the university departments. So I think that the university departments, they are well connected with the industry. So their placements and their internship is going quite well. But when we come back to the colleges, so there is a lack of coordination between the industry and the academics or the institutes. So because of this lack of coordination, now I'll give certain examples. Like when a postgraduate student or undergraduate students, they go for the internship. Now here we just issue them the letter, several letters, that they have an option to join the aviation industry, airlines, or the corporate sector, or the tourism development corporations. Now when they go to that particular industry, in that particular office, there is nobody in that office who is trained to impart internship to the students. Now, if the student gets the placement in an organization, he is told, suppose if it is a travel agency, the travel agent will tell him that you go for this marketing and you sell these products for 2 months. So this will happen. And if it is a government office, they will just tell him that do some inward outward work. So there is no proper trainer in that particular organization who is going to train the particular student. So this is the real fact. Now, these are these issues. And about the 2 months and 6 months, now we have a lot of flexibility. And as Professor Sampath has told, we are from the public sector organizations, we are from the university. Now we too have that liberty to change the course curriculum, but it takes several months and several years to change the course curriculum. So if IGNOU is having a particular course, the same course offered by our university is different, because we have the same components are there, but the style of imparting that course is different. Pondicherry has a different version. Everybody has a different version. So there is no uniformity in the course curriculum. So somewhere, maybe in the NEP after 2 years, we can get that academic flexibility to have the uniform syllabus, uniform course curriculum. And in that, we can adopt this models like 6 months to 1 year internship. So we have to add this. Actually, in the NEP, it is already mentioned that you can go for 1 year internship. And that too, it is not only for PG. It has started from the school level. Students from 9th onwards, they will be going for the compulsory internship. Now that is a very good thing. So I think the seriousness should be there amongst the faculty and also amongst the students. Otherwise, what happens? I'll give a very important example. A postgraduate of tourism, he's getting a package. What is, first of all, where is getting the placement? if he gets a placement, what is the package? And I'm very sorry to state that most of the postgraduate students, like Madan sir is from the industry, will also tell about this. Most of the students, PG and UG students, they don't get very good packages. Packages are very minimal. So that is because we don't impart that particular type of education, or they don't get that practical experience, which is to be taken from the industry. So from all sides, so if we are able to impart the quality education, like in our university, like I would like to give this example in terms of MICE. Now, when we talk about MICE, the potential, everything is there. But now where the student will get the experience in MICE? So what we have done, we have, the university has several events. So all these events, these are the state level or the regional level events, national level events. My department is the part of the organization. So we organize this event and we send our students. Our faculty will go and they will organize the entire event. All management, right from everything is done by our students. After that, we also have the Ellora festival, like we have the Khajuraho festival or Taj festival. We also have the Ellora festival. Now the festival, it is by the name of Aurangabad Ellora festival, and we are organizing that festival in our campus. We have shifted the festival from Ellora to Aurangabad in our Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. So the entire management of organization and management of the festival is done now by our students. So this is how we have to train. It might be a small national conference in our department or an international conference, or it might even be a lecture series. So the students have to be given the task. So we have to find the ways and means to teach the students the skills. So these skills are very, very important. And we don't have that skills. If you take the, now we find that most of the students, like they don't get the good salaries, the packages, they are very less. But in some of the cases, like some of my students from my university department, they have got the placements up to 85 lakhs per annum. So this can be replicated in all universities. Professor Paramita, Professor Sampath, they have visited our university. They know Professor Barua has also visited. So they know that if we train and if we groom the students accordingly, they can get the best placements. And that is all I have to say. We will continue. I think Professor Sir Madan sir will also enlighten us on this aspect. Professor Sampath sir also will tell us about that. Sir, over to you, sir.
Yeah. Dharmendra ji, just I will take 1 minute time. So if you take the lead in preparing the number of graduates available in here and number of requirements of the industry. So if there will be a kind of analysis of demand and supply, and in MICE also there are areas where students require super specialization. They require different type of training sets. So if ICPB and academia, especially Indian Tourism Hospitality Congress, ITHC, and ICPB, both would work together in tandem to identify the human resources that industry needs in a year, and the academic institutions, they prepare or produce the human resources in a year. Probably there will be proper equilibrium between demand and supply of the human resources. That is one. Secondly, I forgot to mention, now in the national education policy, if a student after completing 1 year wishes to work in the industry for 10 years, after 10 years the student can come back and rejoin again in the second year. That scope is also available. So for example, if student finds 1 year training is insufficient, the student can continue for 3 or 4 years and come back and join again and appear the examinations. So these are the scope, but I fully endorse with the views of Professor Rajesh Agade that industry and with our legend industry expert Mr. Madanji, the quality of training has to be taken care of. Students should not be exploited. So, and in the name of giving work, in the name of giving exposures, students' time should be rewarded. Students should time should be valued, and students should also be given due place as a trainee and due honor also as a trainee. They should not be humiliated too much, because what we do in Pondicherry University, we have every week review, and we get a progress report from the industry in the email about all the students, and we compile it and submit to the head of the department, and in turn it goes to the dean. And we have a department called banking technology. They send the faculty member every week to see the students in the industry whether they are working or not. To that level, policing is required. Otherwise, you cannot expect the student to be perfect in every aspect to work in the industry. Thank you very much. Dhanendra ji, may I leave the meeting because I have another appointment, if you don't mind?
Yeah, you will please do so. I would continue the conversation. Professor Anupa, you would like to add something to it? Thank you very much, Professor Sampath, to be here. Sorry, I forgot to say thanks to you. Thank you very much for being here out of your busy schedule. And your points I will, and me and Mr. Madan will surely take up with ICPB's governing council, and there will be something concrete in coming weeks for sure that I can commit to.
Certainly. I am very hopeful and very optimistic after
Sure,
hearing
sir.
from you, and certainly we will be able to do so much of things in the days to come. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much, sir, for Professor Sampath, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Greetings, sir.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Anupma, I was asking you to add to it, what do you expect from industry to address this situation? The
Endorse,
hindrances students face.
we completely endorse what Rajesh sir and Sampath sir have been telling us about the trainings and the seriousness of both the academicians and the industry towards the training programs. And I must also add here that stipend and all the talks of livelihood in another city, when the students from smaller cities visit the larger cities, all that is there. But there are certain, and again, I'm sorry to say here, there are certain institutions that charge money for internship programs. So that is a very sorry state of affairs, because the student, as it is quite taxed. Trying to complete the program, and then when we talk about 6 months programs and 1 year programs, we have to take a lot of things into considerations. I completely agree that a 1 year training program would be a blessing to all these students when they get practical knowledge from the companies. But then the fact that they leave alone the stipend, they said there are certain companies who are charging for internships. Probably, the fact that they have a complete training personnel who's looking after interns. Probably to meet out the requirements of the training personnel who's going to give time to these students and giving them, imparting training. So this is one thing that we can really work on, and we can think about replanning the structure of the internship requirements of these students, as well as how the industry can supplement and support such kind of training programs. So this is one thing that ICPB can really work on, in the coming times.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I have a last question now to Dr. Sneha. As you have been doing it, I am asking you this question so that others can also listen this, including me, and let's have a part of it. Should MOUs be an arrangement to carry forth joint and productive efforts in creating a suitable workforce?
Definitely, sir. I agree with you, because the MOUs is a very integral component to bridge the gap between academia and industry. So I would give the examples what we are doing currently. So we try as best as possible to sign MOUs with the various institutions or associations. So we have an MOU with TIE, and we have them again in our Board of Studies member. We also have an MOU with Shangri-La Hotels, so wherein our students can go directly within the campus of Shangri-La and take up the classes. So directly from the industry experts, they have their training session happening for BWalk Hospitality and Program. And our implant desk tie-up MOU is also with the BIT Uniglobe Travels, and they again take care of the skill training component as well, apart from providing implant travel desk services. And of course, we also have an MOU with FCM Travel Solutions, again a leading tour operator. So we try our best to have diversified MOUs with the different components of the tourism industry, so that we try to get the best for our students in whatever activity we do, we try to involve them. Apart from this, we also have a very active collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism, and we try to organize a lot of events, conferences, seminar activities for students, not only intra-college but intercollegiate and at the national level. So these are the things that we are always, trying to achieve and take it to the next level, so that students get the benefit of it. It's not that it's just our efforts what we have to do, and again, as an autonomous institution, we are able to do this, and we are able to kind of get that gap what is already there. So MOUs is very, very important, and that is the way forward even in this present situation. That is going to be the new normal, because we as academicians will not be always updated, and we have to we need that kind of hand holding from the industry. So I'm sure the convention and the conclave, ICPB, and of course various other associations similar to yours must walk in hand, must be hand in glove with this particular initiative. So I completely endorse and believe that MOU collaboration should not just limit itself to the paperwork, but must be able to have some kind of fruitful outcome, learning outcome for our students. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so very much. Dr. Paramita, would like to add some quick note on to this?
Yes, Dharmendra, I would just like to say that if we have to bring up the mice demand and supply, as Professor Sampath Swine was saying, then we probably need to go look into more areas of MOUs, and ICPB can actually take a leading role in it. What we have today here is just one panel discussion, but it is not how it is going to help us in the long run if we do not have a understanding industry academia linkage throughout. And probably ICPB can start a industry academia linkage MOU, through which we can understand where internship is needed, where the skills, wherever new skills are needed, the students can get to know about it directly, because academia is in touch with the industry, and we can update and update ourselves, because in the long run, as the people who are the trainers to the students, we also need to upgrade and update ourselves. So somewhere down the line, if we have a process in which through this MOUs, even the teachers are given a chance to learn what new is coming in the industry. We have been teaching for a long time. Some of us have some industry exposures. We know the operations, how it is happening. But if we also get a continuous upgrade and we update ourselves with what is happening, this kind of MOUs can be helpful, so that industry also does not come back and tell us that we are not able to give the skill sets to the students which is needed in the industry. But I also agree with and endorse with what other panelists have been saying. There is a lack of awareness among the students about the various areas in which they can work. And yes, some have also said that we don't get the best of the students. But awareness is not just going to help it. We also need the industry to come up with a plan in which the students are rewarded and awarded according to their merits. So again, yes, this MOUs cannot just be with one institution or between one organization and the institution. We need a larger platform. We need somebody to take a call and have a association in which the industry can get a platform to interact with all the institutions, whosoever wants to offer mice in the long run. And this MOUs can be with individual institutions. It can be between two organizations, like Sampath Swine sir was saying, between ICPB and ITHC. There are many such tourism associations and mice associations, and maybe it is also time that we think of an association which caters to the uh, institutes which offer mice, so that we can also come together and understand what the industry needs and probably work forward from there. And MOUs would probably the best way to take it forward, both for training the master trainers as well as to upgrade and update the students with the requirements. We will also have a place to solve our complaints. It seems both industry and academia have a lot of complaints from each other. So if we have a platform in which there's a leader like ICPB taking the lead, then probably lots of these complaints and this miscommunications can be dealt at a much earlier level. So yes, an MOU is the right way to move forward. That's what I think, Dharmendra.
Dr. Anupma, a quick note from you before we close up.
Yeah, thank you, Dharmendra. Again, MOU, definitely. We've been talking about this. Dharmendra, you agree with me that we have been looking into this, how exactly MOUs can work. I remember when we had MOUs with IATO, it was very fruitful for these students. So, I mean, we used to have a counter at the conventions, our own counters, where we could, bridge this gap between industry and students. So I think I completely agree that MOUs are the right way forward. We can think of bettering the systems for the benefit of the students, as well as for the faculty, as well as for the industry. And as far as the events are considered at our levels, at various universities, all the participants, all the panelists here have been organizing events for the students, where the students are definitely given an opportunity to get a first hands-on experience and take part in participatory activities in organizing various events. Dr. Paramita and Dr. Dharmendra, I'm sure you remember the Pareto Utsav that we had organized in a big way, where we had so many multiple stalls, and when we had, the cultural events and the literary events going on together, and the students had planned it all. So I think I completely agree that these college events are going to be very helpful in, giving shape to these students and how exactly they can, get into the industry and start working. So my university, Lucknow University, is celebrating its 100th year, and my institute is celebrating its 25th year. And we, because of Corona, definitely we faced a slight hindrance, but I'm happy to announce to all the panelists here, as well as to the listeners, that we have created a heritage walk of the university, completely done by the students, who have also created a video which is available because we have to talk about digitization and marketing in this era. So we also have conducted, and the centenary celebration, which is going to happen in the coming week, our students are going to take all the ambassadors who are going to visit our university to the heritage walk of the university. Our university building is beautiful, and I think we need to take pride in where we study so that we can take pride in where we work. So I think that ICPB can do wonders. Mr. Madan and Mr. Dharmendra, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Barwa, thank you for moderating this event so well. And as we close down, I thank Rajesh and Sampath.
Sorry to interrupt you, Anupma ji. I have to ask Mr. Barwa. Dr. Barwa, do you have any question for us?
I think as per the time, it's almost over, and very nice comments, suggestions, recommendations are all by the very senior most faculties and expert Sri Madanji from the industry also. As you are concluding it, because tourism industry is one of the very glamorous industry after film industry, I can say. So there is a need to share more knowledge, information among the students. One special classroom can be prepared in which you can show the demos with some PPTs, some videos, some slides, and experts from the ICPB, they can come and they talk, they deliver. Because if it is a regular module, it is fine. If there is any specialization, a special talk, a special session can be arranged. Because once again, tourism is growing very fast. It is okay. It's just few months matter of, COVID-19. But again, my few students, those who are working into the industry, recent my interaction, they says, yes, sir, we start taking some bookings, reservations of, once again, the weddings and the MICE. And the destinations are like Udaipur, like Goa. Once again, I'm repeating, because Goa never sold out. The maximum number of rooms are available. There is an N number of small charters, big charters are possible to land over there. N number of manpower is available. Very good transport fleet is available. Overall, I wanted to say is that you have to introduce one particular destination. So it is possible that being faculties of tourism and travel management, we can also identify 100 places in India. It may be for a small MICE business, maybe starting from 50 people up to the 500 people. We are not going in a very larger way. Like recently in Gwalior, Jivaji University, there is a big auditorium, capacity is 2000 plus. So, these can be identified. We can also sometimes, when we are going in a very close relationship with the industry, we also say that, yes, Gwalior, for example, where I am. So we can say we have new hotels, 5 hotels, and we have good kind of auditoriums. Even we can send time to time to the students to see the place, identify. They can also prepare certain projects also. They can also see and visit some, the case studies. So once again, MICE overall is a new form of tourism, we can say, and definitely there is a unlimited scope. And again, if we compare any other field, in this particular salary structures are very high, and you have chance opportunities to give new ideas, new concept in it. So from my side, it is, thank you very much. I want to conclude from my side. Over to Dharmendra ji also, because everyone shared their valuable comments also. It was very fruitful talk also, and that it definitely will enhance the knowledge to each and everyone, those who wanted to enter into the travel tourism education. So thank you very much again. Wishing you all good day. Please over to Sri Dharmendra ji, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Barua. Sorry to cut short you, Dr. Anupma. I had to, give my view on one particular point which has been raised by Professor Sampath and you also, and Dr. Rajesh also, Dr. Barua also, Dr. Parimata also. What I suggest, that there should be a body, yes, like ICPB, we are there, and we throughout, memberships to all the institutions, be a part of the panel, in which as and when you require, so as and when you require any internship or anything, which is required for students, to write to us at ICPB, and we surely will try to give you a solution. Suppose from Lucknow, as you pointed out, ma'am, that you have limited number of resources available in Lucknow for internships. You write back to ICPB, and we may get you some options, maybe in Bangalore or maybe somewhere else. So this will create a good harmony and good options. And why only tour operators? Why only airlines? Why only hotels? Why not a small village resort? There might be some student who would like to go to a hotel or a resort for an internship. The area of interest for him or her might be hotel management or rural tourism. So there are a lot of places, even in UP or any state we have, that there are a lot of options. And if a student from Kashmir can go to Trivandrum for doing an internship, that can be great, if the option is available. So yes, we will surely be rolling out these type of MOUs very soon, and memberships, so that yes, we can build up a good platform to cater to each and every needs of our industry as well as our student. Mr. Madan, you would like to add something to this?
Yeah, you have done it very well. That there is a miscommunication, I would say, between the colleges, between the academics and the industry. So let's give it a start, at ICPB to bridge the gap. Now that there's I would suggest, there's a event happening in Bangalore in February, the Aero Show. Like Anupama just now said, that during the Deaf Expo, they had given their students for training to a particular travel agency. Similarly, let us start. This is a big event, a very prestigious event happening in India. So we could start with that. That's what I have to say.
Good. Thank you so very much, all the panelists. It was great to have you here, and we had a beautiful and great discussions today. And I would like to congratulate Dr. Sneha Naidu again for wishing you a very happy married life in your coming time. And thank you so much, Dr. Paramita. Thank you so much, Dr. Rajesh. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan. Thank you so much, Dr. C.S. Barua. And I would like to say virtually thanks to Dr. Sampath also. And thank you very much. And we will do certainly roll out things very soon.
Thank you very much again from Gwalior, from IITTM Gwalior family. Greetings.
Thank you so much.
To all of you for a happy Deepavali well in advance to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody, all the panelists. Thanks.
Namaskar.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
panelists. Thank you for the entire organizing team. Thank you.
Thank you.